Calling All Engines was the second Thomas & Friends movie, the first straight-to-video one, and the worst one. Though the first one, Thomas and the Magic Railroad, wasn't much to write home about either. I expressed all my problems with Calling All Engines when I talked about it, but basically annoying songs that break the pace, stupid characters, and the learning segments. Oh, the learning segments! Which freight car has the right building material? So honestly, let's just forget about that and start over fresh. But a lot had changed since that special came out. First of all, the show had gotten worse. It was already going downhill then, but it had managed to finish going downhill and then find a new hill to start going down by the time this special released. The writing was also on the wall for the model era of Thomas, honestly. Same with all of Hit Entertainment shows at that point. It was just cheaper and easier to use this fancy new CGI technology instead. Thomas was up to its 11th season, and the very last remnants of charm the original seasons had were finally stripped away at this point. Repetitive storylines and episodes, flanderized beyond belief characters, and you know those awful learning segments in Calling All Engines? Yeah, even more of those. One of the best things about the original episodes was how kids and adults could enjoy them. They didn't talk down to kids. For God's sake, some of the vocabulary they use even I don't understand. Plus beautiful sets and scenery, all helmed by a devoted team. Except they're pretty much all gone now. The same sets were used on every episode, and now this is a Goo Goo Gaga Babies Club only now. So why don't we just put the model era out of its misery already and finally fully transition to CGI? This was the last all-model production of the show, and I know you're saying, Zach, what about season 12? Just stop. Like, actually stop it. This is where it ended, and I don't want to hear another word about it. But I guess the crew wanted to go out with a bang because they released one more special as the last hurrah of sorts to this era of the show. Steve Asquith directed this special. He was also the director of the show from season 8 to season 12. And look, he seems like a nice guy from what I've read, but that also means he was partially responsible for all those god-awful changes made to the show during this time. He had actually been on the show since the very beginning, holding various roles throughout the years before finally taking over directing roles after David Minton retired. It was written by Sharon Miller. Sharon Miller's another one where it's like, I'm sure she's super sweet in real life. I don't know, I've never met her, but my god, writing for Thomas was not her strong suit. We'll see more of her when we eventually cover the CGI era, but yeah, all I can say is, brace yourself.
His firebox was on fire.
Now let's talk about the narrator. Ringo Starr narrated the show originally. George Carlin and Alec Baldwin also did some narrating. Basically, Thomas was no stranger to celebrity talent doing narration duties. But James Bond himself, Pierce Brosnan, was the chosen narrator for The Great Discovery, which I just love. Apparently he narrated some season 12 episodes as well, though these have never been made public, though we do have some bits and pieces of them.
Huh. I never get lost. I know the railway better than any other engine.
So, a questionable director and writer? Sorry guys. A company that wants the model series to just shrivel up and die? And a Pierce Brosnan sounds like the perfect mix for a great Thomas movie. The Great Discovery was released in select theaters in July of 2008 and on DVD in September of that same year. It was praised and acclaimed by critics and audiences, and oh, whoops, wrong script. Yeah, nobody really cared. When you don't even get a Wikipedia page, that's when you kinda gotta realize you're not loved. Poor The Great Discovery. I barely ever see this film mentioned. This is probably one of, if not the most forgotten about Thomas movies. I never touched this movie when I was little. I was still in diapers when it released, so I didn't watch it when it first came out, and I never had the DVD, and it was never on TV. This isn't like nowadays where everything can just be streamed, and the only limitation you have is the batteries in your TV remote, and back in my day, if you wanted to watch something, your only options were to record it on the frickin' DVR when it came on TV, or have the DVD of it. I did love Thomas and Friends when I was little and had lots of the DVDs, just never The Great Discovery. It's one of the few Thomas movies I've never seen, so I don't really know what to expect going into it. I never really hear anybody talk about it that much in the Thomas community. I've never heard anyone bash it, but nobody praises it either. The consensus I can gather is it's solid. Not great, not terrible, just kind of a nice solid end to the model era. But Sir Topham Hatt does say it's a roller coaster ride of a movie. Well, yeah, of course you're gonna say that, you're in it. But this is my show, and only my opinion matters, so let's watch it. Are you coming? Yeah, no, we're not watching it here. We're going over, you might want to hold on to something. Wham! Over here. So the movie begins with... Really? Again? This is the same thing Calling All Engines did, use the same opening intro as the regular show, and it's such a weird choice. Like, it would have been cool if you made a custom opening for the special that would have shown that I don't know, you cared more. Honestly, it kind of immediately devalues the special to me.
The island of Sodor is surrounded by beautiful blue sea.
Oh, you're still here too? So apparently Sodor Day is coming to the island of Sodor. There will be picnics, a brass band, a carnival, and this blue circle will start to engulf everyone. It's gonna be great! All the engines are getting ready, including Thomas and James, who are racing to the wharf right now. Wait, what's happening? Oh, no! Boy, I sure am glad these songs are back from Calling All Engines. I'm so happy. Songs were never the Thomas franchise's strong suit in my opinion. They all sound the same, and none of them are that memorable to me except like 4. This song uses those annoying high-pitched British kid voices that I hate. Mike O'Donnell and Junior Campbell use these for the songs they did in the original series, and I didn't like it when they did it then. Like, can we please get some voices that aren't kids that sound like squeaky toys? The song finishes up and Thomas ends up winning the race. Suck it, James.
I'll win on the way back to Tidmouth.
That is not the James I remember. Thomas's reward for finishing first?
You are to work with Duncan.
Oh god. Oh no. Duncan, you're such a ray of sunshine, aren't you?
Mr. Percival says that because you mainline engines don't know the tracks in the hills.
What is your secret? Except Thomas stands up for himself and insults Duncan back, and wait, you're not supposed to do that. Duncan's mad now. He was already mad the second he was born, but now it's worse. He tells Thomas about this shortcut over this bridge, but it turns out it's abandoned and dilapidated. Jeez, Duncan, Thomas's driver and fireman are on board. Wait, never mind, this is a hit era. But still, Duncan, how high are you?
Very high.
During working hours, no less. Shame on you. Thomas starts to go across the bridge. Now, Thomas, I know it's scary, but the most important thing, and I cannot stress this enough, is to not start rhyming like Dr. Seuss. I repeat, do not start rhyming like Dr. Seuss.
I am brave and I am strong. I'll get to the wharf and it won't take long.
You son of a bitch. And look what happens because of it. The bridge starts to collapse, but luckily he gets away just in time. I do like this practical crash we get. I miss getting these awesome practical sets falling apart in the show. It always looked so cool. Now Thomas is lost. He goes down this track which leads him to this. This is Great Waterton, an abandoned mining town. Thomas is pretty thrilled to find this and he runs to tell someone. Hey you. Yeah, you get over here. Oh, I don't remember seeing you in the show. I think I missed your episodes. You look kinda creepy. Word slowly spreads across the island until it finally reaches Sir Topham Hatt, who was eating a cream donut.
Sir Topham Hatt had been having tea when Harold arrived.
Oh, what are you, dieting or something? Thomas shows Topham the town and he tells all the engines you would not believe the amount of work your friend Thomas just created for you. They don't seem to mind though, and after another song, we find out that Thomas is getting put in charge of all the work at Great Waterton since he's the one that found it. I'm sure that was a very well thought out idea, Topham. But that means a new engine has to be brought to the island to take over his work, but that doesn't really register with him until he actually shows up. His name is Stanley. I don't know why he reminds me of Mr. Clean in engine form. Once Thomas finds out about him, he's not happy. Well, someone's gotta keep these rails clean, Thomas. So he has the equivalent of a shower with Percy, pulls Annie and Clarabelle, and then sleeps in Thomas's shed on top of that.
So, how much money am I putting down for this fight again?
No, because Thomas just ends up running off. And the next day, he's determined to show everyone how capable he is. He's pulling some heavy freight cars, and let me guess, he derails slightly. Oh my god! Thomas's life probably just flashed before his eyes. Are you okay? Yeah, Topham's not pleased, but he gets sent off, fixed up, and everyone feels bad for him and helps him, right?
Stanley has done a good job. So, I have decided that Stanley will stay in charge, and you will help him.
I swear, Topham must have an army of men just stalk all the engines, so he knows what punishments will hurt them the most. Why does he always pick the most brutal punishments? Maybe these two guys that follow him around everywhere give him advice. Or at least this guy does. This guy's off in his own dimension. Thomas is mad, and he decides to take his anger out on Stanley because you ruined everything! He shunts a big line of freight cars in hopes that Stanley won't be able to pull them and look like a weak bitch. Stanley does attempt to pull the cars, but the coupling snaps and they go, oh my god! This tower gets absolutely obliterated. Now, Great Waterton might not be open in time for Sodor Day, and everyone's mad at Thomas. So that night, Thomas decides to shunt some freight cars in order to help out, but he looses one down this mine and goes in after it. I think the miners that built this may have just been goofing off the whole time they worked here, because this is just a straight up roller coaster, and Thomas is having so much fun of it he loses the freight car, and he probably crashes into some buffers or something. Okay, I will give this special list. The effects have been incredible so far. We've already gotten 4 pretty great crash scenes, and we're only a little over halfway through. Thomas is just left to float off like a Coke bottle in a river, and the next day nobody can find him. Sir Topham Hatt starts an island-wide search for him, and I love the way this scene is edited. Like, this plain blue background and the newspaper just twirling in looks funny to me for some reason. After another song, and by the way, they really want you to know,
Thomas must be found.
like really badly.
Thomas must be found.
Want to hear it again?
Thomas must be found.
I like how they say even Lady Hat joins in like it's a big deal. It's like, what, does she just sit on her ass most of the time? Everyone is searching everywhere. Mr. Percival even starts to move. My goodness, this is serious. But still nothing, and Stanley starts to worry maybe Thomas ran away because I'm cooler and better and smarter and handsomer than him. He heads up to the mountains to check for him. Meanwhile, Thomas finally comes barreling out of the mine tunnels in another awesome crash sequence. He lands on the side of some old tracks and hears Stanley's whistle. He's somehow got enough steam left in him to whistle one more time, and Stanley hears him and finally finds him. Thomas is pulled back onto the track, but Stanley breaks his boiler, but Thomas offers to push him. No fucking way does Thomas still work after crashing into a wooden wall, falling into a river, and floating for like 12 hours. I don't buy it.
In no time at all, Thomas's boiler was bubbling. and his steam was wheeshing.
Why do I even talk? Thomas brings Stanley back to Great Waterton. Everyone's happy to see both of them. Word gets around the island, and I hope you enjoy the shot of Diesel 10 in the background because it's the last time you'll ever see his model. Yeah, I don't know where it is. It hasn't appeared at any museums or exhibitations. It's probably rotting away in Mattel or Hit's storage facilities, but yeah, this is all the Diesel 10 we get in this special. Great Waterton finally gets opened in time for Sodor Day. Thomas is loved again, except in 20 minutes when he'll make another mistake, and everyone's happy. We get the engine roll call and this really nice song, Thomas, You're the Leader. See, this is the kind of song I like, not those annoying British kids. Give us more of this. The end. So there we go, the Great Discovery. How did I feel about it? I mean, it was alright. I was kind of expecting a little more, to be honest. It was kind of boring, honestly. Like, nothing really happened. The beginning where Thomas finds Great Waterton is cool, and the ending where he goes missing and gets found and Great Waterton opens is nice, but the middle part where he just gets jelly over Stanley is kind of forgettable. That's one of the reasons this episode is shorter than both of those ones. Not much happened. But you can definitely tell that the crew knew this would be the last all-model production. They did not cheap out. They could have reused the same old sets they had or just not made the special at all. But they built so many new sets for this special and introduced a whole new character with a whole new model. And the crash scenes are great as always. As meh as the special itself is, the modeling is incredible. It's truly one last hurrah for all these models and sets. Props to the team. The special looks incredible. But looks can only get you so far, and yeah, it just didn't do much for me. But no learning segment, so that's already an enormous improvement from Calling All Engines. Seriously, I cannot express enough how much I hate those learning segments. I guess I'll give it a, I gave Calling All Engines a 3, Magic Railroad I actually don't think I ever rated Magic Railroad. Here's how I think all the movies stack up so far. As you can see, The Great Discovery is in second, though only barely. Honestly, this and Magic Railroad are pretty tied to me. This definitely does a lot more right than Magic Railroad, like actually having Thomas in it. But Magic Railroad has more stuff going on and at least feels like a big event. This kind of suffers from the same thing Calling All Engines does, where it just feels like a super long episode. But it's solid enough, I suppose, and I have a feeling we'll be missing this era of the show pretty quickly.
This firebox was on fire.